Hey guys, it's Alyssa, the hopeless romantic redhead.
And I'm Danielle, the whodunit detective.
And welcome to Main Character Syndrome. If you feel like you're the main character in your life, you are in the right place. We are continuing our deep dive into Empire of Storms, Book 5 of the Throne of Glass series. Yes, Book 5. There are so many books in this series, but it is so, so good.
hmm It's a lot of books. I feel like I've been in this series for a long time, but I don't hate it.
I kind of love it because I'm rereading this again. And it
hmm
is so fun to go back and see all the little details that I missed. And I'm like, oh, now that I know, how could I miss that?
Yeah. And this is my first time reading it, so it's all new to me. And I'm like, I don't know if this is important or not, Alyssa. I'm
I
like,
will
but
not spoil it, but I
don't
will let
spoil.
you know what to pay attention to.
Yeah, you're like, half of your notes are really stupid. No, I'm just kidding.
No, no. I love all the thoughts, feelings, emotions because that's what I had when I first read it. Like Sarah J. Maas will throw you for a loop and you will never guess what she has in store for you at the end of the book. It's crazy. So, with that in mind, we are prefacing that this is a deep dive. We are going to spoil the book from the beginning of the book to right now we are on chapter 40. So, if you have
Number 40.
not read Empire of Storms or any of the books previous to that, go read. We recommend very highly to go read those books. It is a journey. You will enjoy it.
And today
Um,
we're going to chapter 56.
yes.
So,
So today's 40 to 56.
correct.
And yeah, so our first two episodes are part one of Empire of Storms, which is Firebringer. This is the beginning of part two, which is called Fireheart, which is what Rowan calls Aelin, and it's so cute. It's one of my favorite like terms of endearment of a male
Yeah.
character to a female character. I love it.
You know, not to get into your personal life, Alyssa,
Oh boy.
but when you get a boyfriend, you might already have one. We need to talk after this episode. Um, but he needs to call you Fireheart because you have red hair.
How did I know you were gonna go with that?
So,
Oh man. You know, I would rather be called Fireheart than a different nickname that I was called in middle school.
mm, unfortunately, I know what one you're probably referring to, and I'm sorry. People
You know
suck.
what? I'm just gonna say it. People would call me Firecrotch.
Yeah.
It's so
Uh,
mean.
yeah. And it's unoriginal.
I know.
Like,
Oh my God, do you know how many times I was asked, starting in like elementary school, I was a second grader on the bus, and this kid's like, does the drapes match the carpet? And I'm like,
like,
what?
where did you even learn that? Like, where did you learn that?
Probably his
I
older
want to know
brother.
that.
I don't know. But like, come on. I heard that my entire school life career. Okay? Get
Unoriginal.
something else. Get some new original material.
Yeah. New content, people. Think of something better to
On that
torture
note,
the poor redheads with.
guys, like, it's cool to have red hair now. Like, people dye it this color. Come on.
Uh-huh.
This is natural.
Uh-huh. Your red hair looks great.
Thank
Everyone's
you.
red hair looks great. My hair looks great.
Your hair looks fabulous. I love
I'm
it.
not a redhead, but
You
I
would look
think
good as a redhead.
I think mm, maybe.
Like a
I could
dark auburn, maybe?
I yeah, I couldn't pull it off like you. So,
Let's see. You could pull off anything. You could pull off a paper bag. Who are we
oh,
kidding?
wow. Okay, well, Alyssa's just gonna follow me around everywhere and just compliment me all day. I'll pay you.
Girl, your style, I would love to copy. Oh my God.
This is the
I'm
best
full of
compliment
compliments
ever.
today.
Okay, episode's over. I can die now.
Oh, I'm making Danielle
My
blush. It's
style
fine.
is so great as I'm wearing my blue t-shirt. I kid you not. I shopped the Abercrombie sale. After this, we'll get into the episode, I promise, guys.
I love that.
But I shopped which yeah, I shopped a sale this summer and I decided to buy a t-shirt style in every single color. I was like, you know what? I like this t-shirt. I'm just gonna buy it in every color that they offer.
Honestly, if you can find something that you absolutely love If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Get 6 colors. That's what I
Do it.
did with the Calvin Klein t-shirt that I got.
Do it. I mean, it took me a long time to actually do that, and I feel stupid for not doing it sooner.
Well, I love the blue. It's very cute.
Thanks.
On that
Thanks,
note,
Fireheart.
yes, Fireheart Part 2, which I would love to be called. So if my future husband is listening to this, yeah, you can call me Fireheart and I will probably marry you on the spot.
That's great.
Chapter 40. Elide and Lorcan are in their tent when they hear screaming, and Lorcan tells her to hide. 4 Ilkin have come looking for Elide. Lorcan tells them that no one is there that matches her description. The Ilkin, then reveal Elide's name, that they're looking for Elide Lockin, niece of the Lord of Paramp. Lorcan realizes Marion, a lead, lied to him, but he still says she is not there, and the Ilkin say they're going to kill everyone.
Yeah. So, chapter 41, we actually don't get any action here, which I'm kind of honestly glad for. I was like, there's so much action in this book that I was like, oh, finally we can skip an unimportant fight. And so Elite is hiding, but she's like, I'm gonna run for it. Like, she doesn't hear anything. She's like, I'm going for it. And she like crawls out of her little hiding spot in the carriage, and Lorcan's there and catches her, and he's like, what did you think you were gonna do, really? And he's killed all of the Ilkin himself, and he then demands that she tell him the truth about who she is and what she carries. He's like, there's something about you. You have something in order for all of these people to be searching for you to kill you and take you. So they argue, and finally she tells him the truth, but she refuses to show him the gift, quote unquote, she carries for Selena. Once again, she still thinks it's Selena and Aelin, different people. And he tells her the truth that he works for Maeve. And that's about it.
Yeah. The thing about Lorcan too is he knows what she carries because he can sense that dark power and he
Mhm.
sensed it before.
But yeah,
Uh,
he like doesn't want to accept it. It almost seems like he's still
yes.
like, "What do you have?"
Which
But
is
he never
crazy
says.
because it's like you know what she carries. Like
Mhm.
by this point, you know what it is. You just don't want to
Well,
admit it because you don't want to have feelings for this girl and you don't want to take what's hers.
yeah.
Chapter 42, if you remember where we left off in part 1, they basically defeated this Volg army after Aelin summoned it, and now they're headed to the marshes to find the lock that Elena told them where to go. And Manon kind of showed up on Abraxos after her grandmother kind of gutted her the last time she saw him. And now she is in Aylin's ship, basically. So Manon wakes up in the cabin of the ship and she's chained to a wall. Aylin is there and she says Manon owes her another life debt and that she's now her prisoner. And instead of her prisoner, she says our prisoner. And Manon's like, what? What do you mean our? And then she sees Dorian. And then Aylin kind of says, if you step 1 foot out of line, you die. So Aelin says they found iron splinters in her wound when they healed her, so whoever she decides to tell her story to, don't lie to them, basically. Dorian's point of view, Dorian visits Manon and he realizes that her grandmother cut her as punishment for saving him in Otterlin. Manon then asks about Elide and her 13 and then says to find out if the 13 are alive and she will be in his command. Manon tells him the price of saving him and a little bit of what happened. Basically, that Astron's life was the price. She tells Dorian to tell Aelin that Elida Lockin is alive and looking for her. Manon reflects on everything she's learned as she sleeps a lot to kind of sleep off the pain and the wound that she received.
Mhm. Chapter 43, Lorcan and Elite are walking around some new town they're in, and they go to a tavern because Elite's like, we need details about what's going on in the world. And so it's raining, so people are going to go to the tavern and gossip. And they end up start they start talking to a couple, acting like they have no idea what's happened in Rifthold, and then gets them to spill some tea about the queen, Aelin, and her whereabouts. The woman says that she bets she'll show up in Eelway next, and Elite kind of agrees with her and tells Lorcan that she also thinks that she's going to Eelway too. And then all of a sudden, his senses can tell that guards are coming, and they never 100% verify that they were betrayed by their carnival crew or not. Very likely so, but they decide they're going to run to a barge to escape these guards. They then start sailing away, and Lorcan, while Alid is down under the barge, Lorcan kills the barge owner after he promised him that he wouldn't. And that really pisses Alid off. Like, you're not trustworthy. You gave him your word. I gave him your word that you weren't going to hurt him. And then her anger awakens the key and it starts thrumming. And Lorcan's like, "What is that?" And he knows what it is, and so he runs, gets the amulet, and opens it up and realizes that it is not a key, and then tells Alid Selena and Aelin are the same, and that she's an assassin and a killer and a B word, and is just like going off thinking like that he's gonna turn Alid against Aelin, and they start fighting. And let me tell you, Alid lays into him, and she's just like, "You're unhappy. There's a reason, you don't have anyone in your life." And she's just like hitting him where it hurts. And then she's like, "Take me to the shore." And he says no, that he has business with Aelin Galathinius now too, and he's guiding her to Eelway. And Lorcan's like, "I want to kill Aelin." And he knows Alid has something powerful with her. Still
Yeah.
kind of doesn't really say what it is, but this was like him solidifying, like, she has that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you remember in Queen of Shadows, Lorcan made a deal with Aelin that he would give her Athral's gold ring and she would give him the word key. And she gave him a fake with one of the Vulg rings in a fake amulet of Orinth
And
instead
he
of the
stole the
actual ring.
ring.
So, and he stole the ring back.
Yeah.
But he's been on this journey this whole time that he's gonna go to Morath and get a second key, and that I got Aelin Galathinius when in fact she got him.
Yeah.
She got him good.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite quotes was something about, "Here's to hoping you find something better to call me than bitch when you open this."
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. She left him a note. You're right. I forgot to mention that. And that's what she said.
And I love her for it.
Yeah. Here's
She's
to
like, the next
hoping
time
you
you
can find
find
some.
me, hopefully you find a better, like, insult to call me.
Yeah. No more fire crotch. That's where we're going to draw that back to.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. All
You're
right,
welcome.
chapter 44. Aelin wakes up covered in flames and Rowan snaps her out of it. He's very worried. They have kind of a sweet moment with "I love yous" and another spicy scene. My God. Like back to back. Okay. And this one's against a wall, mind you. Aelin whispers that she'll always find a way back to him, which is very cryptic. And I'm kind of like, what does she know? Cut to Dorian's point of view. He visits Manon again. She tells him about the yielding, where a witch can only summon their magic once and unleash this great power on their enemies. It's good during war, but essentially it's kind of like a suicide bomber because they don't survive. And I'm thinking, is that kind of foreshadowing something? Like, why are you dropping this little tidbit in here?
Hmm.
Then they have some spicy banter about how neither can handle the other, and Dorian kisses her, and then he teases and then leaves her wanting more, and Manon is gobsmacked, like
This
she is
was
shocked.
this was so bad because Dorian like walked like they flirt, they tease each other, and then he walks out of the room, and then like a couple minutes later comes back in, and he's like, "You couldn't handle this," and blah
Yeah,
blah
he's kind
blah.
of like, F
And then
it.
he like goes over to her, he kisses her, and like it's like about to happen, and then he's like, "Peace."
He's like, you know what? maybe next time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
I'm like, you
Um,
are doing this to a black beak who has iron teeth and nails that could shred you in a millisecond.
yeah, but it's almost like,
Ballsy.
yeah, like doing that, it's almost like he has like a, like,
Death
he was,
wish?
yeah, he has a death wish. So chapter 45, we jump to Adian's point of view and he's hanging out again with Lysandra. And they like also will say they like never acknowledged again what Adian told Lysandra after she almost died, where he's like, I'm gonna marry you one day. And they're just like ignoring that now. We then learn that Aelin asks Manon about a lead and then is like pissed. She's like, you left her? And she punches Manon while she's chained up for leaving a lead. Because don't forget, a lead's mom is Marion, who was basically like Aelin's, what would you,
Handmaiden.
yeah, handmaiden or something. And she saved Aelin's life. So then we learn Dorian has been sneaking into Manon's room at night. So, but we don't know if officially things have happened, but he kind of alludes to it. We'll
So I kind
see.
of got that as like this is after the whole Dorian Manon scene
Hmm.
where like Manon is turned on and Faye can smell that.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of like, I smell this. This is disgusting. Why would you do that?
Yeah. So maybe they haven't. But Dorian does say something like when Aelin starts fighting with Dorian about it, Dorian is and like you can have whoever you want in your bed. Like, how come I can't have whoever in mine?
Hmm.
Um, and so he basically says that Manon won't do anything bad if you unlock her from her chains. He's trying to help Manon out. And Dorian and Aelin start arguing, and then she gives in and says that Manon can be let out, but she has to be kept in wrist chains. And then we're back to Aelin. We're now to Aelin's point of view, and she goes with Rowan and Fenris to let Manon out of her chains. When they go into the room, Manon asks who Fenris is, and they say, "This is Fenris. You know Fenris." And she says, "It's not Fenris." And then Fenris, quote unquote, goes to attack Manon.
Yeah.
This was kind of a shock. I was like, what?
Yeah, this was a fun plot twist. So then we
Yeah.
get into chapter 46. It turns out that Erewhon's bloodhound was disguised as Fenris, who is still on deck. So Fenris is still alive. He wasn't killed. If you remember in previous chapters, after Manon was gutted by her grandmother, this bloodhound was kind of sent to finish the job,
And
and
it was
Manon got away.
originally like a very attractive naked woman, is like on the
Yeah,
other
like
side of
a
the river.
ethereal looking creature.
Hmm.
But Erewhon now knows what ship Aelin is on and who she's with, and it throws Astrid's leather strap on the ground and kind of tells Manon Erewhon broke Astrid, telling her the details of Astrid's stillborn baby, so she believes her. Dorian then kills the Bloodhound, and then the Ilken show up. Fenris is cut and poisoned in the fray, and then the Bloodhound says it was sent to give Aelin a message that what she did in Skulls Bay confirmed to Erewhon that she has the key. So while she may have proved that she was a force to be reckoned with, she kind of shot herself in the foot by kind of showing her hand that she has a word key. And now Erewhon knows exactly where it is.
Yeah. And it's never, it may be said in this chapter or future chapters, but we can just go ahead and say now that it's now very obvious the bloodhounds were shapeshifters.
Yes.
So
Yep.
they're able to change into different disguises. And it wasn't, I believe, specifically stated, but now we kind of can tell that.
Mhm.
And that also confirms and like gives reason for why Erewhon wanted Lysandra so bad and why they were trying to take her and kidnap her. So they've collected all of these known shapeshifters and have now turned them into major monsters.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were doing in the mountains of Morath
Hmm.
when they were hearing all the screaming. They were creating Ilkin and bloodhounds.
Bloodhounds, yeah. So then in chapter 47, Rowan gets back to the ship after flying around and sees Fenris dying. He then kills the Ilkin as it begins to fly away. And Fenris's magic allows him, we learn that Fenris has like this different kind of power where he can actually jump from one place to another instantly through folds in the world. Don't know if that's important, but they make
It
note
kind of
about,
reminds me of winnowing in A Court of Thorns and Roses.
yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good point. And we get a little bit of Fenris's backstory now. So we know that him and his brother have the blood oath to Maeve. But him and his brother are the sons of nobles, and his mother and father were warriors. Fenris hates the bond to Maeve, and Adian asks Gavriel then how he feels about the blood oath to Maeve. Once again, Adian is Gavriel's son. And Gavriel has like this kind of, in my opinion, really crappy answer to begin with. He's like, well, actually, I've only ever hated the blood oath once, and alludes to leave once before and alludes that that reason was because of Adian's mother. He's like, I've only hated blood oath once, basically because of your mom. So, yeah,
Yeah, um, kind of anticlimactic there, but
yeah.
chapter 48. This one's fun. Dorian finds Manon. Manon says that he could have made the bloodhound suffer, but he killed it swiftly, showing he's not a monster, and that is answer to the question that he's kind of been asking himself since he broke the obsidian collar, is that he's not a monster. There is a line of morality. And Dorian asks her where she stands on that line, and she says she's not human and to not mistake her as such. To when Dorian goes that he has no interest in human women because they're too breakable. And I'm kind of like, okay, that's an FU to Sorsha.
Yeah. Well,
Damn.
it's hurt. He's hurt still.
Yeah, no
He's like, I don't want to
kidding.
go through that pain again.
I know he doesn't, but saying that specifically is
Mhm.
yikes. Manon then tells the others that she is Kraken and the last Kraken queen. Fenris then comments that Maeve's allegiance can't be bought because nameless is her price. Aelin recognizes this and freaks out because it reminds her of what Baba Yellowlegs had told her in Throne of Glass or Crown of Midnight, whichever one that she killed her in.
And
And
Crown of
Aelin
Midnight.
is suddenly nauseous and goes to throw up, which prompts Rowan to think that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
If we remember that little mark on her brow, she was told that that means nameless. That is the bastard brand of the Brandon line.
Yeah.
So Aylin's freaking out because she's like, oh shit.
Yeah. I know. I've been like trying to like really think about that and trying to figure it out in my head because I don't know. So that was good. I forgot about the mark
Hmm.
being nameless, meaning nameless. Chapter 49. A, this is gets a little weird a little bit. A lead starts her period. And Lorcan says he'll stop at the next town to so she can get off and get supplies. They stop at the town, and when he leaves her to get her supplies and she wants to buy some clothes, he goes somewhere else. Typical man who doesn't want to deal with women stuff. So he starts to go back to the boat, and as he's going back to the boat, he starts to sense that things are off. The streets have now emptied, and she is a lead is nowhere to be found. So a lead's in the store, and she's told by the shop owner to go try on the clothes before she buys them. And she's taken to a room, and then she's locked into this room, and there is Vernon and more Ilkin.
Yeah, this
I
this was a hard chapter to
screamed.
listen to. I also want to point out too, like this is kind of giving like medieval vibes because way back when they also called it their cycle. It was very proper terms.
Hmm.
And can you imagine not having modern feminine products and having to use a strip of cloth.
You know, no, I personally couldn't. I do wish that modern day feminine products were cleaner than they are,
Yeah.
and didn't have all the toxic chemicals in them. But yeah, no, that would be a lot of work. That'd be like, I mean, bless all of you moms and dads out there who put their babies in cloth diapers. I I know someone who did, so I'm really not knocking that, but I'm like, that's gross.
I don't
Um,
want to clean that.
I don't want to clean that. Um,
I'm
so I would,
sorry. I'll fill a landfill full of diapers before I do that.
yeah, yeah. So
But yeah,
thankful
it's
for
like,
modern day pads and tampons.
and this poor girl like wakes up in a mess and it's just like, "Oh, I feel for you, girl. I feel for you."
And they do mention that this is like a like different. I don't know if this will be important in the future. She was like, normally like it's really light. And he even, for some reason, Lorcan even comments on it. He was like, "Are you okay?" He was
Yeah.
like,
Well, stress, we know, really messes with a cycle as well. So
yeah.
she's definitely been stressed out. And the
But
funny thing is Lorcan's also like, you smell like blood.
she's
It's
like,
so
"Oh,
gross.
duh."
She's like, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, this was kind of funny.
It's just kind of a fun, weird little chapter.
Yeah.
Before we get into the shit show that is chapter 50, so let's get into that. So Vernon shows up and he has four Ilkin with him. Elide kind of tells Vernon, "You can't take me. You have no authority over me because I'm married to Lorcan." And he kind of scoffs and laughs at that. And he's like, "Lorcan Salvatere? Yeah, right." And he tells Elide that Lorcan was spotted leaving on a boat, which then makes me think of like Tangled and how Eugene, they were like, "Oh, he left you. He doesn't care about you."
Ah.
And he also says Manon is dead and that his grandmother or her grandmother got her and threw her off a balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Vernon then kind of leads Elide to an iron box that he plans to put her in and fly her back to Morath of her nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Elide will not go back, and she has stuck to that. She fights tooth and nail to grab his knife, not to use it on him, but to turn it on herself. Lorcan is watching this from a rooftop, and he sees Elide about to stab herself through the heart, noting it's the first time he's known true fear. He throws his hatchet and it hits her hand with the handle to stop her from going through with it. Then they both fight and kill the Ilkin. He kills two, she kills one. One escapes with Vernon, unfortunately. And then Elide tells Lorcan about Manon and Kaltain and the names, they were the names that he kind of overheard Vernon say. He's like, "Who's Manon?" And she kind of tells him. And she shows him the word key. So now he knows without a doubt what she is carrying.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't take it. Instead, he explains what it is. And so Lorcan then kind of goes to Elide. He's like, "You were actually not going to stop that dagger." And Elide's like, "I told you I wouldn't go back."
Mm-hmm.
And Lorcan's like, "I made a promise to protect you and I won't break it. And I will always find you." And I'm just like, oh, he is falling so hard for our girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was, yeah, that was a lot. I was like, go a lead. I mean, obviously not the, you know, offing herself thing. But like when she realized that she could fight, she fought.
She
She was
was
like,
not going to take it lying down. Like she broke her nose. She got cuts. Like she
yeah,
was not going to take it.
yeah. And she cut the head off the Ilkin. And like Lorcan thought at one point in the chapter, he was like, oh, good, she's running away. She's running away from the Ilkin. And then he's like, no, she's not running away. She went and got the hatchet. And she's like, yeah.
I think she
And
snapped and she's like, "I've had enough of this."
that's a woman on her period for you. No, just
No,
kidding.
facts. Like, do not mess with a woman on her cycle, okay?
That's what I thought about when I was reading this chapter. I was like, girlfriend, we've all been there.
It's quite bloodthirsty.
Chapter 51, Eelway, they get to Eelway, Aelin and her posse. And Eelway is burning all along the coast. It's on fire. And Rowan then flies to shore and he's trying to extinguish the flames. Aylin's trying to extinguish the flame from the boat. And Rowan's asking residents, hey, what happened? And they say that darkness fell over them and then in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, flying flaming arrows landed all over all of the towns on the coast. And they don't know who did it, but the residents think that it was Aelin Galathynius because they didn't come to her aid 10 years ago. And he's like trying to explain to them that she's the one extinguishing the flames, and they're just like, no, no, she's mad. This is her. And so this doesn't seem good. Anyways, Aylin's not pregnant. There was that brief scare. But she's like, but I'm down to be. And she's like, I'm not taking any tonic. She's like, I want to have your babies, Rowan. Um,
It's kind of like if it happens, it happens. Like I want a legacy, I
mhm.
want an heir, and if that happens, then so be it. But I'm also kind of like, you're in the middle of war. This is not a good time to bring in a child.
No, no. So I was like, girlfriend, you're crazy. Anyways, they arrive to the stone marsh, and the group now has to go search. And they tell Manon that she has to tell Abraxos that he has to fly away because they need to stay hidden. And so she tells him to fly away for 4 days, and then come back.
This is such a heartbreaking scene between Manon and Abraxos too, because they have not been separated.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, I hate Aelin for making me do this.
Mm-hmm.
And again, showing a little bit more emotion on Manon's side, who was this emotionless
Yeah.
soldier who would just kill Krakens because she was
Mm-hmm.
told to.
Yeah.
All right, chapter 52. Elide and Lorcan arrive in the marshes where Lorcan feels he was led to by Hellas, who's a god, and that the queen, Aelin, was likely in this direction. So Elide asks Lorcan about Maeve, and he kind of spills and says he's loved her ever since he first saw her. He once offered to be her lover, but she just laughed. So he's tried to be useful as like a warrior instead. I was like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Elide says she'll hide him in Paranth and that he would have a place there with her if he ever wanted one. Lorcan then kind of says he would be dishonored and it would reflect poorly upon her. To which Elide's like, she defends him, saying anyone who thought that would not be welcome in Paranth. And then our ballsy little Elide kisses Lorcan, this massive female, and she says he doesn't need to answer now, but if he ever shows up on her doorstep in like 10 years, the offer still stands. To which Lorcan's like, that's sweet. And he kisses her. And his inner monologue proves that he's absolutely falling for a lead.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're really erupted by this darkness spreading in the sky, which is an army of Ilkin flying to the marshes. And Elide knows they're not coming for her this time.
Chapter 53. Aelin and her group are traveling now in the marsh. Rowan has flown overhead and tells them that they're almost there to the temple. And Rowan's just kind of like, I have a bad feeling. In the chapter before, Elide's like, I have a bad feeling about this place. Rowan's got a bad feeling. Everyone has this terrible feeling.
It's
Aelin
like
then pulls,
all death, apparently. Like it makes them feel like death.
yeah. And then Aelin ends up pulling out the eye of Elena, and then they are attacked by a marsh beast. Dorian then captures it immediately and with his magic, and then like ends up letting it go and it doesn't hurt them. Rowan, we learn, had let down the shield around them to let the beast basically come in and attack, and was using it as kind of like a magic lesson for Dorian. Manon then asks where Aelin got the eye of Elena and said, it's not the eye of Elena. That symbols the eye of the three-faced goddess, the crone, mother, maiden. And it's an iron teeth symbol, and those who won battles were given those. Manon then goes into detail about the Kraken curse. We learn that Rhiannon Kraken was the last Kraken queen, and she was the last standing in the battle versus the three Iron Teeth matrons. One of those was Baba Yellowlegs, who obviously is extremely, or was extremely, extremely, extremely old. And as she died, she cursed the three matrons and basically was like, everything here on this land will die, including your babies. And then they didn't take it seriously, and several of the witches had babies, and they were all stillborn immediately.
Which, like, okay, going back to Astrid and the grandmother, how dare the grandmother blame Astrid and call her unclean
Yeah,
because she had a stillborn? Like, that is the curse.
yeah, it's the curse. And yeah, so that's a good point. That was ridiculous. And then eventually humans took over the lands because the witches couldn't stay there, and the land has taken to the humans. And so the humans are doing well there, but if the witches go back and the curse isn't lifted, then they can't. Food dies, people die. It's just bad. And Rhiannon said only one can break the curse. And she says something like, blood to blood and soul to soul, together this was done, and only together this can be undone. More said, when iron melts, when flowers spring from blood, let the land be witness and return home. So, Manon's parents made a union together to try and break the curse, and Rhiannon's bloodline lives on through Manon. So that's, I think, a big deal. Gabriel then tells Rowan later on that he needs to take Aelin 1,000 miles away from here, and whatever is here waiting for them is not good, and tells Rowan that Maeve has replaced him in her cadre with a man named Khan, who is basically a sadist and was kicked out of Rowan's army for being too cruel. Fenris then asks Rowan to kill him if Maeve ever orders Fenris to kill Aelin. He's like, I don't ever want to kill Aelin. Please kill me before I can even have that opportunity eventually, if it
And Rowan
should come
does.
to that.
Rowan's like, you will be dead before that
Yeah.
even
He's
happens,
like,
before the thought even comes to you.
yeah, he's like, yeah, you're not even gonna get close to that.
Yeah, I promise. It's fine. Chapter 54, Manon asks Dorian why he doesn't wield the keys, and Dorian tells her he destroyed the glass castle and killed the king and thinks he would do the same to the continent with the keys because of Sorsha and how she suffered in this world even before her death. They all finally reach the temple, the place where the lock should be. Aelin is kind of reflecting on how much worry she causes Adian and Rowan when she puts herself in danger and kind of thinks about being better because she's like, Rowan was ahead scouting and then he comes back and she's so relieved that he's back. And she's like, is this what he feels like every time I put myself in danger? Maybe I should stop. They then, at the altar, they find a chest covered in word marks and they sense magic. And Rowan's like, that's Lorcan. And it turns out Lorcan actually sent out a distress slash warning signal. And they see 500 Ilkin flying right for them.
Yes. So chapter 55, we jump back. Lorcan and Elide are now running, and he keeps sending out pieces of magic to warn Rowan and Aelin. Aelin, jumping to her point of view now, throws out the idea of using the key to kill all of the Ilkin. And Rowan's like, absolutely not, you idiot. Not really, but yeah.
She's like,
Then,
there's no one here to kill
yeah, she's
except
like,
them.
yeah, she's like, I mean, if Deanna took me over now, it would just kill the Ilkin. And he's like, no. Um, Adian is pissed at Aelin, and he's like starts standing up to her again, and he blames Aelin and fights with her. And he's like, you forced Erewhon to show his hand and do this to us. Like, you're making bad decisions. Lysandra then is like, hey, I'm gonna go rile up the marsh beasts so they can fight the Ilkin too. And then Aelin is like, okay, like we're preparing for battle. I want the first shot. And internally, she's planning on going very, very, very deep into her power again and is like, I only need one shot and I'm gonna kill them all.
Hmm. The funny thing too, I think like during this journey they were eating the marsh beast, but I guess like I think who was it? They're like, don't tell me where this meat came from. They're like, all right, I won't.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's so funny. Chapter 56, as this is all happening, Elite and Lorcan realize that they're too late to get to safety and they are caught in the middle of Aelin and the Ilkin. And previously, we learned that Lorcan put Athril's ring on Elite's finger and told her to never take it off and that it will protect her from Morath, which is so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Lorcan then sees Gabriel and Fenris are with Aelin and he's kind of shocked. He's like, why on earth are they here? And he then realizes that he and Elite are about to be caught in the crossfire and throws a lead down, shields her with his body as he throws up this magical shield. And Aelin unleashes her magic and scorches this field of Ilkin and also Elite and Lorcan. But Lorcan's shield just barely saves them
Mm-hmm.
because Aelin is just that powerful. And of course, Dorian and Rowan kind of help, and they kill all 500 Ilkin, which to me is kind of anticlimactic, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Lorcan then kind of realizes the force that she is, and he's like, ooh, it may be harder to kill her than I thought. And he goes to approach them, and Elaine's like, is that a good idea? And he's like, they won't kill me. And little does he know, Gabriel and Fenris were ordered to do just
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. But he's also, I think, like the way I read that too is like he's going over there with ill intentions. Like,
Hmm.
he's still pissed about the word key thing, and she's still the quote unquote bitch queen to him.
Oh,
And
for
so,
sure.
so there
But
was
he still
definitely
doesn't
like,
think that they're gonna kill him.
yeah. He's like, oh no, we're good. And he's like, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna kill Aelin. And
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
Elite's like, you're not on good terms, are you?
yeah.
No, they are not. And Gabriel and Fenris are also not on good terms with Lorcan.
Yeah. So that's where we're gonna end this episode.
To the
I'm
readers
really
who
excited.
listen, we'll see you later.
Bye everyone.